And maybe just, and I'm not saying that their lists are the best, but maybe because their platforms are the biggest at what they do, so they kind of know how to trigger people and get people really tapped in to start to talk about it. So for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about Complex put out their top 50 Atlanta rappers list of all times. So we're gonna go down to 50 real quick, and I feel like to give it a real argument, you may actually have to know all 50 of these rappers, or if not all 50, at least 40. So I'm going to start from 50 and go to 1. 50 is Lil Nas X. 49 is Pee Wee Longway. 48 is Sci-Hi the Prince. 47 is Trouble. 46 is Rich the Kid. 45 is K-Camp. 44 is Lil Scrappy. 43 is B.O.B. 42 is OJ the Juice Man. 41 Roscoe Dash. 40 is Sean Paul. And Sean Paul is in the Youngblood. So real quick, just out of that 40 so far, I absolutely want to argue K-Camp over goddamn this Youngbloods nigga. And I could realistically argue Sean Paul. I can argue Pee Wee Longway over Sean Paul just off of Pee Wee Longway's influence and him ushering in Young Thug and the Migos. Him connecting the dots for the Migos, him connecting the dots for Young Thug to get with Gucci. I could legitimately argue with that. Now, we talking about hits. I can realistically, it may be hard to sit here and say, I don't know, though. I could probably argue that K-Camp got bigger songs than that one Youngblood song. Because the Youngbloods got what's that one big Youngblood song that they had was, what is it? I can't even remember it off the top of my head, and I feel like I'm being disrespectful. You kind of gotta know, but so I just want Youngbloods. What's Youngbloods? Youngbloods. What was it? I want to say, I'm almost 100%. He had it. I mean, they Youngbloods. What was their biggest song? Snap Your Fingers. Damn. I feel like Damn is the biggest jump that everybody know. Snap your fingers and do your step, and you can. That's the E40 song, but that's a Lil Jon song. That's what I'm saying. Like that biggest song is all right. Damn, I can't play it because of course we're on the YouTube jump, so to really refresh people's mind. But it's like, nah, dog. I'm arguing that. I'm arguing that. I'm arguing that K-Camp over the Youngbloods. Like I said, get right back to the list. Yeah, I feel like if we're going, I will have to replace K-Camp with Sean Paul from the Youngbloods. See, I don't want to be disrespectful to some of these people I don't know, but I feel like if I don't know them, they shouldn't be 39 on the top. Like, I don't know who Cool Breeze is. And I don't know if people from Atlanta gonna come out and be disrespectful with that. But because I don't know who Cool Breeze is, I feel like I should be able to move up. Nigga, I should be able to move up K-Camp, and I should be able to move up Pee Wee Longway. Shit, I can even argue you should be able to move up Lil Scrappy if we keeping it a buck. Like, I don't know, because I don't know who Cool Breeze is. But so he was number 39. So 38, So 38 was Young Nudie, 37 was Rich Homie Quan, 36 was Fabo, 35 was Diamond from Crime Mob, 34 was Bankroll Fresh, rest in peace to Bankroll Fresh, 33 was Childish Gambino, 32 was Big Gip, 31 was Left Eye, 30 was Pastor Troy, 29 was Young Dro, 28 was Soulja Boy, 27 was JID, 26 is MC Shady. See, I don't like, because I feel like if you're gonna sit here and talk about people, like, I get it, if you're gonna show them respect, I do feel like some of those people should be like closer to 50, because if they didn't have, and of course you need those people to pave the way for some of these younger rappers, but if they still didn't have songs as big where it's like, realistically, for most of the world outside, if you don't live in Atlanta or wasn't born and raised in Atlanta, you don't know most of these. If they came before Outkast or Goody Mob, you don't know who these people is. So keep moving on along. 25 was Latto, 24 was Lil Yachty, 23 was Waka Flocka, 22 was Shorty Low. Because I've heard so many people from Atlanta talk highly of the Kilo Ali, I can't argue him as 21 because I've heard endless people from Atlanta give him credit. Gunna at 20, Takeoff at 19, Lil Jon at 18, Jermaine Dupri at 17, CeeLo Green at 16, Quavo at 15, Killer Mike at 14, Offset at 13, Playboi Carti at 12. I don't believe, and because it's a complex list, I kind of understand why they try to do the Playboi Carti, but Playboi Carti should be nowhere near in God's green earth ahead of Jermaine Dupri or Lil Jon or any of any of the Migos. Shit, even probably.
You don't even think he's ahead of Killer Mike right now.
If we talk popularity,
but you just made this list right now, and he just Killer Mike's 2 albums
coming off the Grammy. Yeah, so yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I won't argue with you with that one. I won't argue with you that. Yeah, so I'm just so
still to this day. I don't know Playboi Carti.
You know a Playboi Carti. You know you know the joint with him and is that with Lil Uzi? What's that? If I'm in the block of Millie Rock, what is that? I can't remember that song. That's how long it's been. It's been a long time for that song. Whatever that song was that I'm talking about with him and Lil Uzi. Yeah, he should definitely not be 12. Number 11 is 21 Savage. Number 10 is Lil Baby. Number 9 is 2 Chainz. Number 8 is Big Boy. Number 7 is Ludacris. Number 6 is Young Thug. Number 5 is Jeezy. Number 4 is Gucci. Number 3 is T.I. 2 is Future. And 1 is André 3000. And I feel, and if I'm gonna keep it a buck, I feel like you put André 3000 just because so the list will seem credible. Like you don't want kind of like, oh, if you how, because that would probably number one for everybody who don't live in Atlanta, probably will absolutely have everybody lose their mind. Because to me, honestly, Future should be number one. If I'm keeping it a buck, Future should be number one.
What was Future?
Future was number 2. But I understand why you putting André 3000. You're gonna put André 3000 at number 1 because you just want your list to seem credible. But if we just sit here talking about just impact on Atlanta music, kind of really like, let's be clear. André 3000 was a part of the people who opened the door. But we're talking about ushered in and carried it longer for probably we're talking about at least now what we saying Future, maybe what we saying let's say 2010. You're talking about for the last 14 years, Future's been probably arguably the biggest artist from Atlanta. So his run of carrying Atlanta is way longer than André 3000. I'm cool with André 3000 opening the door. So that's why you see him saying he's number 1. And I feel like putting him at number 1, it just makes because so many people want to put him high. We talking about, I don't think they talking about lyrical. I feel like it's just a top 50. It just a top 50
rappers
from Atlanta.
I don't know. That's kind of tricky then.
But to me, I'm just still that window. Listen, what I'm saying. I'm not. You can't discredit André 3000 or Outkast or Goody Mob, any of them for what them opening the door for Atlanta. But you cannot sit here and say Future's window was longer. His window of how he's been carrying Atlanta, passing the torch, bouncing around, doing features and collabos with all these other artists, helping some of them get some of their bigger songs. You almost can't deny that because you're talking about that's at least a 14-year window. 14 years went. 14 is the kind of put the, like, think about it. T.I., Gucci, and Jeezy, all of them tapped out way before that. I'm not saying they still all put out music, but we talking about actually carrying it where the city can still be on my back proudly and be like, every time he drop, the whole city can get behind me and be like, oh yeah, this is still our number 1 guy. I don't necessarily like. It's hard for me to sit here and be like, Future should be number 2 next to André 3000 and André 3000 because it's just like, man, I get it. So I mean, I'm not mad. I understand if making a list. I understand why he would be number 1 because you kind of want your list to seem credible. So for people outside Atlanta, everybody will kind of like bow down legitimately and be like, all right, cool. I get the André 3000 thing. And you know, of course, I'm just a Jeezy fan, so I can argue that Jeezy should be 3 and Gucci.
What is Jeezy?
Jeezy 5.
And Gucci's 4.
And Gucci 4. I'm arguing that T.I. should be 5 and Gucci could be 3.
What was T.I.?
T.I.'s number 3. And I still, to be honest, like, I don't, man, maybe, and like I said, maybe I'm not just a huge Outkast fan. I don't necessarily think that fucking André 3000 should be bigger than fucking Jeezy. If we just talking about just off the strength of Atlanta and ushering in a whole different sound.
Yeah, but if I broke the barrier from all that ATLA, you know what I'm saying, all that their hits from their past album, I don't see how you can. Because I get what you saying. You just saying impactful, like that Thug Motivation, but then we can't forget about André 3 Stacks.
No. I listen to what I'm saying, but
his features.
No, I'm not. I ain't listening to what I'm saying though. I hear all of that, but I still can argue that T.I., Gucci, and Jeezy kicked even in the door for the futures. Where you see here saying like that form of, it's a genre of music called trap music, where those 3 can kind of argue who was the most important. So that for that to even usher in a whole genre of music where it trickled down to the Migos years later and trickled down to even for Future. Like, you got to think about it. If there's no Jeezy, Gucci, and T.I., do we really get a Future? Because what's the lane he gonna be able to rap in? Mm-hmm. And I think that to me is when we talking about just that to me is what I'm talking about when we talking about the line of like who really kicked in the door. And that's why, like I said, I get it. I mean, I feel like if you are a person from Atlanta or you outside of Atlanta, it's hard to argue those 5, but I do feel like you can move them around a lot. And like I said, I'm not trying to discredit André 3000, but I do think people don't really give shit. Even Future, Jeezy, Gucci, that credit. And I'm saying, like I said, I mean, I don't know too many people that will argue about like, damn, I'm still in the top 5, but I still personally would be like, I don't know, dog. I just feel like you can kind of make an excuse and you can make a real argument for putting Future at number 1. Me personally, I'll put Future at 1. 2, I will go Jeezy. 3, I'm gonna go Gucci. 4, I can go Andre 3000, and then 5, I'm going T.I. Because I don't know. I know that one, what's that one Outkast joint? They probably did some crazy numbers, so I don't necessarily know what that is. But as a solo artist, and that's one of the things that Andre 3000 kind of got the high from not putting out his own solo album. I don't necessarily know if he would do as much as Jeezy did that first album. Goddamn it, the Jeezy first 2 albums went double platinum.
You saying his wouldn't have went?
Andre 3000. I mean, I don't know because he never did it.
He did it.
Yeah, they did it as a double disc.
Yeah, I still think it would. If it was solo, I think it probably would have still. Because Hey Ya was the biggest song out of all those. Hey Ya and what's the other one?
With UGK?
Prototype. No, UGK, that wasn't on that.
That wasn't on the album?
Mm-mm.
That was on the UGK album?
Mm-mm. And what up in the movie soundtrack?
I mean, like I said,
Prototype and Hey Ya was 3 stacks on that solo project that he had. That was his biggest ones.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a good list. I mean, I do, and like I said, I shout out to Complex because they just know how to make a list that kind of will make people even just be able to get into some type of engagement. But I do want to kind of get